So this is it. This is my NES collection. One game, that's it. One game. Golf. I can't even play this game because I don't have an NES system to go with it. Pretty pathetic. Now I know what you guys are thinking. The title of this video is NES Collection from Scratch. So I guess I should start out the series without any games altogether. I found this game hidden away in a storage container underneath a bunch of old junk in my garage. So I'm going to start with one game to start out my collection. All I have is the dust jacket for it. I don't even have the instruction manual. And when you play this game, you need the instruction manual. Without the manual, you have no idea how hard to hit the ball. Once you get to one spot here, I have no idea what club to use. I'm just going to use this one. Oh, way too long. Back in the day, there was no internet, so you needed this manual. But I don't have it, so all I have is golf. Hey look, that's Mario. This game's gotta be good. No, it definitely is not. Since I don't have a Nintendo, I have to use an emulator on my PC to play these games. It's not the real thing. But when I found this game, this got me thinking about retro gaming and how I'd love to start a collection up of NES games. There are over 700 games in the NES library, and I have one of them. I have a long way to go if I want a big collection of games. Going through another storage container in my garage showed me that I'm already a collector of retro games. Here's a handful of Genesis games. I've got Altered Beast. Oh look, Virtual Bart. That's gotta be a horrible game. Sonic, not for resale. I actually have a lot of sports games too. Here's my Nintendo 64 with a controller and two awesome games, Perfect Dark and GoldenEye. And I also have a ton of Sega Master System games with the system. So why collect NES games when I already have a collection of other retro games? Well, I've been inspired by people on YouTube and on Twitter, and I've always wanted a collection for my own. So back to my Sega Master System. When I was a young kid, my parents were awesome. They bought me this system, and every month I would go and get a handful of games. These games were great. So many great memories playing these games as a 10-year-old kid. The only problem I have with the system is that most of my friends didn't have one, which meant no one knew anything about it. So when all my friends were ranting and raving about their NES collection and how amazing Super Mario Bros. Was, I would try and explain to them how awesome Alex the Kid in the Miracle World was. They could care less. Everyone had an NES system, except for me. So now that I'm an adult, I thought I would try to start up a collection for myself. Now the question is, how am I going to do this? For those of you who don't follow me on YouTube or Twitter, let me explain a little about myself. I'm married, my wife and I have 2 daughters, and I have a girl cat. I have a house full of girls. I also have a mortgage to pay on my house, and we have 1,000,000 bills to pay. How am I ever going to afford an NES collection? Well, I had an idea on how I could afford an NES collection without taking extra money out of my wallet, and I wanted to document my journey on how I got it. If you take a look at my garage, it's a mess, piles of junk everywhere. This is where I go when I need a little alone time, get away from the girls and chill out. If I asked my wife if I could start spending money to buy video games that I wanted as a 10-year-old child, she might freak out, tell me it's a waste of money, and that I should be working a second job if I had so much time playing video games. The first idea I have on how to get money, sell what I have. Now I could just sell what I have to help pay bills, but that would take too much work with no satisfaction. So basically this stuff would just sit in my garage collecting dust until the day I die. So I'm going to start working on selling the things that I have, like my beer cans. Holy cow, look how many I have here. Maybe it's my kids that are drinking all this. Man, I got some out here too. I also have baseball cards kind of hidden away here. I have a lot of cards, probably not worth a lot. I even have these old cash vouchers from Las Vegas that I just never cashed in. Probably can't get too much money for these. And of course, I have my old retro games and systems. I'm not too sure if I want to sell my Sega Master System, but I'm willing to get rid of some of these Genesis games. Maybe even some of the N64 games. It'd be hard to give up GoldenEye and Perfect Dark. With the extra money I make, I will start searching for NES games. Now where am I going to look for these games? Probably my best shot will be Craigslist. eBay is a good place to look for games, especially for big NES lots, but shipping costs can get expensive, and that would raise the value that I pay for my games. With Craigslist, I can find a seller close to where I live, and I wouldn't have to pay for shipping and possibly find games cheaper than they are really worth. Garage sales and flea markets will be my next best bet. And last of all, I would love to get donations from the fans and even work out trades. I'll get to that in another video. Now I know there's some games that I'll never get. Nintendo Championship, 6-in-1, and a few others. They're just too rare and too expensive. But hopefully I can find some other rare games, maybe work out trades with you guys, who knows. But it's going to be fun to try to get almost all of the Nintendo games, and I hope you follow along. This is just the first episode. I'm going to have many more documenting all my purchases, the money I make, the money I spend, and what I get in return. I hope you guys stay along for the adventure.